listening to the Mothership Connection, your cosmic link to the other side.
Good evening, Mothership listeners. My name is Greg, the host of the Mothership Connection. To my left, to your right, is the co-host of the Mothership Connection, that is Carrie, the Millennial Falcon. Did I say that? Millennial Falcon?
Yeah.
Turner. She's our IT expert extraordinaire and co-host extraordinaire. And you may have noticed this is not Dobie, but we have a guest in the house.
Woo!
And we have an audience member in the house.
Hi.
And we have a seat over there for Django, the mascot. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. So it's been a while since we taped. We haven't taped much this summertime because the weather's been really, really nice. So you go out and you do stuff. You do stuff outside.
We get busy.
Yeah, we get busy. We
There's
had
a change in your compound.
This is now a new part of the Ponderosa, as we like to lovingly call it, the compound. We switched sides so we can showcase more stuff. So if you notice the lighting is a little bit differently, you can see more background stuff. I was on vacation this past week, and huge credit to the wife, Lori.
Yay, Lori!
This was actually her idea, so we can try to have a better filming experience. We have more room for guests. The basement is open wide up.
There's a vast space out
It
here
is a
now.
huge area now that is open. It's a nicer environment. It's a lot more fun. Mike here is our special guest. Mike was a longtime listener of the show when it was on 1050 AM WLIP here in Kenosha, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun now that we have him in the compound. I thought it'd be fun to get his take on what he liked about the show, how he likes the format now, and the kind of the differences, and maybe what some of his famous topics were, or favorite topics. And after that, I'm going to hit him with the lightning round, of which I like to hit people with the lightning round because it's a lot of fun. That's our sound effect for the lightning round. Thank you very much.
Good sound effect.
Every time we hit the lightning round, you may not hear that ever again, but that's the sound effect for the lightning round. So, Mike, we used to work together here in town at a local grocery store. I'm not naming names. I don't want to get in trouble one way.
To protect the innocent.
To protect the innocent. Thank you. Yeah, in case there are witnesses. But he knew after I got there, I got on the show. So we would work Sunday nights together. I had to race out of there to get to the studio in time. So sometimes I closed down early. The funniest, I'll get off the store in a minute, but quickly, the funniest thing was the store director we had at the time. And I remember he asked you a question about what I was doing at the radio show. Do you remember? Can you recall?
No, actually I don't.
Because it was a feller's name started with an M, and the store director was afraid that I was neglecting my duties to get to the studio to do on-air stuff, and he was really afraid that I was talking about store stuff on the radio. It's
I can't remember this now.
It's a grocery store. Like, it's not that exciting.
Yeah.
And, it's fun to talk about customers and stuff because, your customers, you know who you are. You shouldn't be out in public, and you know who you are. So the store director was really upset that he didn't know what I was talking about. But all that's passed. But I know that Mike used to listen because we used to have a live Facebook feed that I would be typing on. I had a little laptop. So as we're talking about stuff, I would post things that were coming up, or I would post about the topics you're talking about. And I know he listened to the show all the time, but it wasn't always forever because you had a lot of early mornings.
Yeah.
So what do you got in like the first hour, maybe hour and a half?
Yeah, it was a late show. It would have started like 8.
Show started at 8 o'clock, and it was.
So I would easily catch the first couple hours of it.
It was on. It was live radio. It was 4 hours of live radio,
Yeah.
8 p.m. to midnight. So if you think about it, the Today Show is only 3 hours.
Wow.
We had 4 hours of things in time to fill and kill.
But you said the time went by so fast.
Time went by in a snap. Not to copy Thanos. I'm not trying to end time.
Half the population.
Half the population just went down. Sorry. But it was a lot of fun to talk about stuff, to talk about popular conspiracy theories, moments in time that were happening. We were live on the air when Obama took down bin Laden. If it really happened, I'm not sure about that one yet. But it was a lot of fun to be on the air when things happen.
Yeah.
And I know that Mike was one of our listeners, and we appreciate him for that. What other than, like, if I wasn't on the show, do you think that's a show you would have listened to?
I used to listen to the show on the radio years ago.
Uh-huh.
I forgot the guy's name. It was a famous conspiracy show, Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast
Yeah,
AM, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to listen to that, and I was intrigued by it. I used to listen to it all the time. Just, this is there's not a lot of shows like yours
Nope.
out there.
No, there were
So
not.
I was definitely.
Yeah, that was George Norrie
Yeah.
who took over for.
Exactly.
Now I can't remember the guy's name who started Coast to Coast AM, but Coast to Coast AM was huge for the year 2000 because everybody thought for sure that airplanes are going to be falling out the sky when 1999. It's the whole Y2K thing, and for the life of me, I can't think of the host, but he passed away, and George Norrie took over before the guy passed away.
Yeah.
But that put that show on the map. Like everybody was listening to it because they were all for sure the world was going to crack open and aliens were going to come out of the center of the earth or something weird was going to happen. So everybody listened to the show. But we were a local flavor of that, and at the time I would listen. I would get home, and if I didn't have to work the next day, I would listen to podcasts of Coast to Coast, and we had a lot of similar guests. We had a lot of similar topics, but what made us is we were local, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have corporate sponsorships that would have been nice, but we talked about it from our point of view. We didn't have to follow a script. We just kind of did whatever we wanted to do. And Mike, being a listener, we were very appreciative that we had local listeners, and we at the time we were one of the highest rated shows on AM 1050. I don't know what now. I don't know what's on that time frame now. They had Joe Diamond. He was a magician. He was on for a while. Then they had a national broadcast of like a conspiracy theory related show.
So they tried to stick with those kind of topics.
They tried to stick with that kind of topic because at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, what else you want to talk about?
Yeah.
All the mainstream talking heads are all about sports.
Yeah.
It's Sunday sports. So you want to have an alternative topic because not everybody's into sports.
No.
Right? It's split down the middle. So people who are at work and listening to the radio, who don't want to listen to sportscast, or they're into sports but don't want to hear scores until they get home.
Right.
You want to give people an alternative, and I think locally we were a fun
That's
alternative.
a great idea.
Yeah, we really tried to stay away from too much of the politicking and not a lot about the religion because that can go a lot of different ways, and it was hard. They were hard topics because you didn't really want to cheese anybody off, but at the same token, they were really juicy topics too. So you kind of tap dance on them without really insulting too many people. And I thought we pulled that off. I thought we pulled it off. I thought we did pretty good. So, I mean, as you listened to the show, what did you think? I mean, did you like certain topics? What were your thoughts? What do you think?
I enjoyed a majority of the topics. I mean, I really liked anything had to do with like JFK, the Magic Bullet theory. I enjoyed it. I mean,
Yeah,
the guests
good.
were awesome.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, the Magic Bullet theory is one of my favorites. So those of you who don't know, when JFK was assassinated, everyone said that there were 3 shots. One shot being the kill shot. So what about the other 2 shots? Kennedy and Governor Connolly both walked out of there with multiple wounds. I think between Kennedy and Connolly, there were 7 wounds. 7 or 8 wounds. That left 2 shots to pull off 7 wounds. Well, one shot missed. One shot hit a guy named George T. It's called the triple underpass. So the car's heading towards a triple underpass. One shot misses because it took a chunk of brick off the sidewalk with it. The bullet deflects and hits this guy in the cheek. So he had a bullet. He didn't have a fragment, but he had a bullet wound in his cheek. So that's shot number 1. Shot number 2 is a headshot. So now you have 6 to 7 wounds to account for one shot. So the theory was the shot that got Kennedy in the back of the neck come out of his throat. And you can see him leaning forward. So this bullet went through the air, tumbling, went into Governor Connolly, hit him in the back, come out of his rib, hit him in the arm, and went. If anyone watches Seinfeld, they have the Magic Split episode.
The Magic Loogie.
Yeah. So the Loogie turned in midair, mind you, did a U-turn and ended up in his leg. All right, it sounds impossible, and it probably was, but turns out the gun that was used, it's called a Mannlicher Carcano. It was an Italian World War I rifle, probably the world's worst fighting gun of all time. The scope was defective. There's a lot of things that if he did pull it off, he went career in one night, right? It's the most obscure things to have happened. But the bullets that were used in that gun were the heaviest allowable bullets used by any rifle on the market at the time. So it's possible that could have happened. Here's what makes it improbable, is they found this magic bullet in a stretcher at Parkland Hospital in Dallas, Texas, clean as a whistle. The bullet come out clean. Now they tried shooting these bullets through cadavers, and even just through one wrist bone, that bullet come out shredded. So this bullet went through and out of 2 bodies, lodged in some guy's inner thigh, and came out pristine. It went through bone, it went through cartilage, U-turned in midair, right, and the bullet come out clean. I don't know. I mean,
sketchy.
anything, a little sketchy. Anything's possible, but is it probable? I don't know. That's for others to discuss. But that's why that's
It
such
is
a
a
fun
great
theory.
theory.
It's
Yeah.
a good one, isn't it?
Did you guys on the show ever go into the topic of Paul McCartney being dead?
Thank you, I love that
I've
topic.
never heard that one come up before.
Yeah, well,
Intrigued.
do you know what the theory is? So Paul McCartney, the Paul McCartney that we know is not the real Paul McCartney. The Paul McCartney that we know that is alive today is on tour is an English chap by the name of William Campbell.
What?
Here's how
Yeah.
we know that. She's laughing, the kid's laughing. Here's how we know that. Where does this album begin? So for a while, it was during one of the studio sessions that Paul McCartney and John Lennon had a fight. Right? They fought in the recording studio all the time. So Paul McCartney leaves in a huff. He picks up a hitchhiker, a woman in a blue dress. Isn't that one of their songs? So they leave hints all over the place, right? Picks up a woman in a blue dress. He's driving like bat crap. Gets in a crash. He gets decapitated. Head rolls right off. He's decapitating the crash. The woman in the blue dress identifies the body. But because the Beatles were such a teen icon at the time, releasing his death, they thought that society was going to end.
Yeah.
So we got to come up with a clever way to figure this out. So at that particular moment in time, Tiger Beat magazine had a Paul McCartney lookalike contest
No.
for some reason. And this-
Coincidentally.
coincidentally, about the
What?
same time, Tiger Beat magazine, you can look all this stuff up, it's there. Doesn't make it true, but it's there. So they get this guy called William Campbell, and he had a beard, and with the beard, he looked like an identical match to Paul McCartney. But the rub is, maybe they planned this from the beginning, right? You really don't know. Maybe this all put on to sell more albums. If it was, it's the most brilliant marketing scam of all time. But if it really happened, then the Paul McCartney that we know lost his head literally years ago, and now you're paying hundreds of dollars to see William Campbell, a fake.
Just so
but they
happens he can sing
just
well
so
too.
happens.
and
Well, the thing is with training and anything else,
it
you
can
can probably
happen.
fake it, right? You can
Yeah.
probably fake it. He was a part of a quartet. He wasn't the lead singer. Probably figured the stuff out.
Yeah.
But the Beatles now left hints all along the way.
Yep.
The biggest hint is the Abbey Road album. So they're all walking across the street. We've all seen the photo. But they're all dressed in very peculiar ways. Paul McCartney is barefoot to signify that he's dead. John Lennon is leading with his right leg. All the others are leading with their left leg. Another hint. In the background, there's a little VW, a little Volkswagen car, and the license plate reads 28 if. That would have been how old Paul McCartney was had he lived. That would have been his age right there. Also, on the Sgt. Pepper and the Lonely Hearts album, it's a big gatefold LP. It's got all these crazy pictures. On the back, in the back picture, they're all facing forwards. Paul McCartney is facing backwards for some reason. They left not only that, but it's countless other hints that
In the
Paul
songs,
actually
in the
got.
lyrics of songs.
And
too.
they were approached by MI6 to never release any of this information because if people go crazy, there'd be riots, London would fall, it'd be a mess. So they were under such intense pressure to not tell the truth. And they had a lot of these songs. They had a song about the KGB. They had all these ridiculous songs at the time, but these are all hints that they're under pressure to keep something secret, or they are under duress and wrote bizarre songs because they didn't know how to deal with it either. So the Beatles left hints. Did it really happen, or was it just a scheme to sell more records?
What do you guys think?
I don't know. It's a really I call theories like this sexy. It's a really sexy theory. Doesn't make it true, but it's pretty sexy.
I heard today it's not a conspiracy because I read up on it and it's true, but I had no clue in my 21 years of being alive. I was posted on Facebook saying, as a reminder, that Matthew Broderick had killed 2 people in 1987 in a car crash.
Curious. Yeah, same with, was it Venus Williams, one of the Williams sisters?
Maybe.
She killed someone, but the high profile now one is Caitlyn Jenner killed somebody in a car crash.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick only
Yeah,
got
because wasn't he
fined
dating Sarah
$175.
Jessica Parker at the time? Wasn't she in the crash?
It was Jennifer Grey,
That's it.
and
Yeah.
he only got fined $175
Yeah, that's a good
for
one. I
killing
forgot.
2 people.
I forgot about that.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that was a thing. I thought it was a hoax at first.
No
I,
hoax,
I,
that happened.
I read it. And I was
That
like,
was back in the day. That was a headline on MTV News. Remember MTV News? Did you have the cable back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what was the name of the guy? There was, I can't remember. I'm old, but you can. I don't know if you can YouTube old clips from
I'm
MTV
sure
Everything's
News.
on there. Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
should. There was a lot of fun. Martha Quinn was one of the original DJs or VJs, but she went on to do bits of MTV. Kurt Loder, that's the guy. I always point this. I got it on the notes. Kurt Loder was the main MTV news guys. There was a few others. Now they're on other channels doing other stuff. There was a couple others who were hardcore journalists, and they worked for MTV, so they were the news guys. So yeah, those are fun ones.
Yeah.
Those are fun ones. All right, on the while we're on the conspiracy theories, I'm gonna hit our guest here with a lightning round.
Okay.
This is the most fun part of the show. And again, I got this idea years ago from a friend of mine who had a very similar type of show, and she wasn't exactly sure how she wanted to interview people. Then I said, well, you should YouTube. If someone's you're going to interview, YouTube to see if they've had other interviews done, and then don't ask the same questions. Ask ridiculous questions, off-the-wall type questions, because you can YouTube. So if you're interviewing a band, everyone's going to ask the same question. What was the first instrument you played? Oh, what was your first band like? What were your influence? Right, we all know this stuff. I want to know stupid stuff, because that's just way more fun. Are you ready for stupid stuff questions?
I'm ready. I'm full of stupid stuff.
All right, here we go. Question 1 of the lightning round: Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, or Harry Potter? Pick a franchise. There's no
Star
losing.
Wars all day.
Star Wars.
All day.
Star Wars has not been the lone answer, by the way. Harry Potter was one in there, and I think Star Trek. They have not all been Star Wars.
I was Lord of the Rings.
All right, so what was the last album / song you purchased?
Oh man.
And the medium of this part doesn't matter. Just what was the last album or the last song you downloaded or purchased or what have you?
It was Seether album. The newest Seether album. I can't think of the name of it.
Okay. What did you listen to on your way here today?
Oh, Beatles. Sgt. Pepper, right?
And there you have it. The force is strong with this one. All right, so
William Campbell killed it in that album too.
He did kill in that album. Other than the Star Wars movies, what's your other favorite movie? I know this is always a tough one because everyone has lots of favorite movies. Just whatever, you don't have to think too long in this one, just whatever your favorite movie pops in the top of your head.
I would say Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and
Love
Dumber.
that movie.
Excellent choice. Good one. All right, so now name 3 items in your refrigerator. Go.
You got beer, plenty of that. Water, and probably leftovers from dinner yesterday.
Dinner left. What did you have for dinner last night?
Spaghetti.
Nice. I'm going over to Mike's when the show's over. We're going to have water and
I'm
beer.
taking it to work
Spaghetti.
tomorrow.
Spaghetti.
No, we're good. Nope, taking it to work.
So what's your favorite band or your favorite group? Again, this is another toughie because a lot of
that's a
people have
tough
multiples.
one,
It's a toughie.
I always fall back to Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah,
Nice.
love
Okay.
them.
Okay, good.
I was supposed to see them last month, but then they canceled their tour.
Yeah.
Which sucked because that
Why'd
was
they
my first
cancel the
time.
whole tour? What happened?
He had
And
something with
Shadows
his
has
throat,
He had an
yeah.
infection, I think,
Yeah.
in his throat.
Got really sick,
So,
so he canceled the
He
whole
pretty much had
tour.
no voice, his
Huh.
last
But
few
he already
concerts.
has that like rough voice that he
Yeah,
gets for the
and his
shows,
style,
so-
I mean, that it's wearing him down.
Yeah.
Bummer. That's kind of
He was
weird, isn't it?
doing
I was
show
looking
after
forward
show after
to
show.
it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've only heard the material, only a few bits. I haven't listened to everything they have, but just
I'll
a couple
send you
bits
some
here and
stuff.
Yeah,
Send me
check
some
it out.
there. All right, here we go. CDs versus DVDs or downloading. So the question asks, what should you prefer? Do you download or do you prefer a physical copy?
I like the physical copy aspect of it.
Defend your answer.
I'm gonna
Go.
say, as far as like CDs go, you got the little booklet, you got your lyrics. It's just something just to look at while you're listening
Okay.
to the music, and you feel like, I don't know, it feels like a better purchase when you have something physical.
in your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel more attached to the album. You're more invested in it because you have a physical something in your hand. When you
Yeah.
download, it's kind of like a throwaway. Or you just
Yeah.
add it to your mix,
You
and
just
maybe you
have
hear it
it.
once in a while, maybe you don't. But the CD, you have full control over when and how you listen to it,
And it's
Absolutely.
collectible too.
and it's a collectible.
Yes.
Okay. You believe in ghosts?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have an experience? You ever
When
seen
I was a
anything?
kid, I always had goofy stuff going on
Yeah.
around the house.
Okay.
I actually had these little basketball player stickers that go on the wall and stuff in your bedroom, and one of the basketballs was spinning like crazy. And then me and my brother, we ran away. We should have just like waited and just watched it play out. And then we came back and it was on the ground. But it was literally
like
rotating.
a sticker?
Audience member, did you
it was
know
like
this?
you can take it off and like
Oh
restick
my
it.
God.
It was one of those.
That's weird.
All right, that is.
Maybe my
pretty
parents'
weird.
house is haunted.
Did your parents explain that off as, oh, that's Uncle Fred in the attic?
They said, oh, it was a vent, some with the vent. or
Events.
something. Yeah. Or maybe they said it was a street light, it was catching your eye weird. No,
See,
we saw it.
when I was a kid, we lived in a really old house. And there'd be times where all the 4 of us were watching TV and all of a sudden we hear a...
Oh no.
We're all looking up and Dad's like, oh, that's just Uncle Ed up in the attic. And I'm like, we have an Uncle Ed we didn't meet? What's he doing in the attic? I don't understand. Well, that was their reason of explaining why goofy noises, because they didn't want to scare us too bad. But I got more scared knowing Uncle Ed was in the attic. What the hell's
Yeah.
Uncle Ed? Just explain.
Parents'
I don't
safe
know.
answer is a house settling. Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
fast answer.
I
Yeah.
just heard pounding over there.
Yeah.
But, all right.
All right, aliens. What do you think? Are they real? Are they BS? What's your take?
I've never seen one, but I definitely believe it. I've heard there's just way too many stories out there.
Thank you.
You know.
Speaking of which, if you don't know, coming up on the History Channel in a couple of months, they're going to replay events of it's called Project Blue Book. Have you heard about that? That was the Air Force's official investigation into unidentified flying objects. It's based around Dr. J. Allen Hynek, who was hired by the Air Force to suppress these stories. Because in the late 40s, early 50s, there were so many UFO stories, the Air Force couldn't keep track of them. They didn't know what to do. So they hired this guy, J. Allen Hynek. I forget what university he's a graduate of. He's got a lot of physics degrees. Like, all right, prove these people are imbeciles, that there's not anything out there. The problem is, he became a believer. He heard so many stories. Yeah, so of the 100% of the stories he heard, 90% were, okay, you saw something legit, you didn't know what you saw.
Yeah.
But the 10% of stories that couldn't be explained were so fascinating to him that he flipped from a skeptic to a believer. So much so to the fact that in the movie, Steven Spielberg put him in one of his movies, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. At the end of the movie where they're at Devil's Tower, there's a couple of scenes in between when the little aliens go away before the big mothership lands. There's a guy in a bow tie with glasses and a pipe.
Oh.
He's adjusting his pipe. He's adjusting his bow tie. That is a cameo by Dr. J. Allen Hynek. Steven
Is he
Spielberg
still
loved it
alive
so much.
today?
I don't know if he's still alive. I don't know why I'm whispering that answer.
Oh,
I don't know.
after the show.
I don't know why he's
We're
still
gonna do ASMR now.
Yes. Yes. All
Welcome
right.
to the mothership.
All right, question 10 then. What? Now there's a bonus question, right? So question 10 of the official lightning round is, what's your favorite conspiracy? I think you tiptoed on a little bit. You can rename it, or if you want to name another one, go for it.
When I was a kid, I was fascinated by Bigfoot.
Good one. Good one. No one has said Bigfoot so far.
Cool.
It's either been Roswell, September 11th, or JFK. Those have been the three big ones. No one, the first Bigfoot. Thank you. Hey, that's completion of lightning round. Awesome. Good job. Here comes the bonus question.
Okay.
One of my favorites. Bonus question is this. The zombie apocalypse is over. You and your crew won. You survive, and you get the Earth pretty intact. Yeah, there's dead bodies lying everywhere, but they're not coming back. It's over. You've survived. You and your crew, you made it through. You've got some stuff left. You've got structures left. It's in pretty livable condition now. You can do what you want to do. The question is, where do you live? Where do you go to? Do you go back and do you take back terra firma? Do you get your home back? Or the world is your oyster? Where would you go?
I would just explore the world. I would just go from place to place.
You're a nomad.
Yeah.
Got no
Be a nomad.
settled place.
Yeah.
So far, nobody has answered
I
that
like
way.
that answer though. Just
The
go
most
for it.
popular answer thus far is living by the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you figure winters are coming around. That power hasn't been restored back yet. But I was with him. My answer was exploration. I was going to go to the Smithsonian and get into the basement, find out what they didn't show us. And I could finally find out. What do you hide
Area
in the vaults?
51.
I'm going there. Yeah, that's where we're going. All right, hey, nice, good completion. So then, what do you think? What do you think? Bless you.
Thank you.
What do you think of the new digs? What do you think of the rearrangement of the studio? What are your thoughts?
It's very open now. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot to take in. I know.
We'll do another tour very soon.
Yes, well, sure. On the corner now, everything is open. It's again, if we ever have, and we have audience members from time
We
to
could
time.
have everybody just
We
standing
could
over
have
here. Like,
couple tables and
Absolutely.
a whole bunch of guests.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool.
And you do lightning around fire all the way across the table.
I like the lightning round questions. I'm thinking maybe I might change a few as time goes, but I kind of like how these are set up.
Yep.
They're not your normal type of
Yeah,
questions.
they're good questions. I like it.
Audience member, do you want to crack at the lightning round, or are you out? She's good right now. That's all right. Thank you, audience member.
Thanks for being good right now.
That's right. Well, until next time, thank you for watching the Mothership Connection. Carrie, how can they get a hold of us?
All right, we have the Facebook.com/Mothership Connection. We have the Mothership Connection friend page, but that's under Gregory DeGuire. And then we have our YouTube page, which is now youtube.com/the Mothership Connection.
Because we're over 100. We're over 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
So we
Moving on
claimed that URL finally,
Yeah.
which is awesome. That's a big
Cool.
step. And now we made the Mothership Connection street team, which you can be added to if you want to. I'll put the link below, but that's where we'll put all our updates, guests we've had, episodes to come. So
before we say the adios, I forgot Mike's got a special talent. He goes to different conventions. What is it that you doodle with, Mike? What's your special talent?
Oh, I draw.
Boom!
I sketch sports players, wrestlers, anything.
Now, have you shown the people that you've sketched? Have you shown them the sketches?
Oh yeah.
What do they think?
They're blown away by it. I've actually had a few athletes request me to draw a copy for them.
What?
Yeah, and I did one for former Buck player Brandon Jennings.
I remember Brandon Jennings. Yeah.
And I was at a signing and I brought my drawing. He's like, "Oh, that's really awesome." He's like, "I make me one." I'm like, "Well, how do I give it to you?" And he's like, "Talk to my marketing lady, and then she'll give you all the info."
Is that the audience member? Is that your marketing lady?
Oh, it was the Bucks marketing
There
lady.
we go.
All right.
So
That's awesome.
she gave me the address and everything. She's like mailed in like a tube, go to the post office, whatever.
Do you have any of these on a face? Do you have a place where people can view these, or not quite yet?
I don't. I should make like a
You
web page
should,
or something.
or you should make
Or on
like
my Facebook.
or a fan page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
I should do that.
I didn't want to leave.
And he
without
ended
thinking to
up he mailed me like 10 pairs of tickets to 10 different
Wow.
games, pairs of
see it.
tickets.
Holy smokes!
Walking in lower level. So I took my
Cool.
wife, I took just random friends that had never been there, and it
Wow.
was pretty cool.
That's fun.
That's
And
awesome.
then Donald Driver, when I got his autograph, he requested that I draw one for him, and I just never got around to it.
Oh, no.
I probably could have gotten tickets, but I screwed that one up. So when Jennings asked, I was like, for sure, I got you.
Wow.
That's brilliant. Nice. Hey,
That's awesome.
I have no talent. I can't draw a stick person. My stick people look like aliens. It's not quite. There's something wrong with them. I can't even do that right. You ever dabble in the drawing there, Carrie?
I wanted to go to art school for a while. I'll have to show you some stuff. Not as good as where celebrities will be like, I want that. But we played Pictionary the other night, or like adult Pictionary. And I got some compliments, so it was fun. I'll show you examples.
I think I could probably go to fart school. I'd never make it to art school. It's a whole different schooling right there, let me tell you. All right, very well. That's all we got for this particular episode. Stay tuned for more as they happen. Adobe is out and about. He just got back he had more
Another
gigs on
cruise
cruise
ship.
ships. He's a
Wow.
sailing the 7 seas. That guy got to join the Navy for the amount of sea duty he's been on. So until next time, thank you for watching the Mothership Connection. For you new viewers, and I hope there's some out there, please subscribe. I know there's another Mike out there that was a fresh subscriber. There's probably 1 or 2 after him, so I always say hi to new subscribers
Hi.
if I know who you are. So hey, so don't be afraid to subscribe. If there's anything else you want to see, something more you want to cover, thoughts, suggestions, tell us to go to hell, whatever. Don't forget to find us on the Facebook or email us, however you want to tell it. Whatever form you feel like telling us to go to hell with, by God, you can tell us. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, adios.